Yeah, say what, Lester. We're gonna work on where are you going either this weekend, last weekend. Depends on the context on what you're talking about. You will hear whether if we use earmarkings for whether if it's this weekend or last weekend in the conversation. So if you want to be specific and you want to say this weekend, last weekend, I would suggest to put that here in the two for last and who for future. That's you, by the way. Two and who. Who would be future, two is past, and O is not a current tense. So in American English, they have this thing called tenses. They have your past tense, your future tense, and your present tense, right? Because you're presently tense. No, okay. Anyway, this is a linear timeline. We think linearly. No, we don't think linearly. We actually think multilinearly. Let me get into that. But in the instance, we have this thing called to for past, right? And the thing called who for future tenses. We do not have a current present tense, right? We don't have a present. Now, when you think of a linear timeline, you think of a line, because that's what linear timelines mean. You think in this time moves this way, and this is how we think. But you are mistaken if this is how you think. There are people who can get trapped in the past, anywhere between here and there, or even a little bit of here, and then they just keep doing this little simple loop in their minds, right? So these people live and thrive in this world. And then you have some scientists, philosophers, thinkers that totally get rid of the present tense. And then they only think about the future tenses and how the philosophical mind works, right? And in doing so, they're stuck in the future tense, and they barely ever think about the past tense. So we think multilinearly, but we have a linear timeline. Okay, does this make any sense?
It
Awesome.
does.
So Lashutzid counts for this factor. If in about 3 days, right, you can start using two in 3 days ish. Yesterday, maybe some gray area there. There's some gray area here. And then the same way with the future, 3 days. 3 days from now, possibly futuristic stuff, right? But that's the way Lashutzid works. So 3 days, so present day, yesterday, question mark, right? Second day, smaller question mark. Third day, yeah, totally. Anything beyond that is two. Same way with this one. First day, maybe you could use two. Second day, maybe two. Third day, yeah, you're looking at more. Go ahead and use two with everything beyond that. And main reason why you have these question marks, because the tenses on what we're talking about can happen within these 6 to 7 days of a time frame. That things can happen presently and pastly to present, or present to future. So this time block is the time block and frame of mind where you want to be if you want to be in the current tense. Everything else is either shu or tu. It's either already happened or will happen. In either way, you're out of control if you're trying to control everything in that will happen part. Oh well. Oh well. So that is how the linear mind works in the thing. And English sucks. They can't think of the multilinear concept, which is completely fine. I guess if you want to have a future tense and a past tense and not think of the people that, you know, get stuck in the past or get stuck in the future. Yeah. I guess.
In another dimension.
Would be the future train of thought, by the way. There could be a possibility where they're stuck in the past tense. If they came from that different dimension.
Well, it's interesting because they were what I've been studying. There's like 5 dimensions that were like out of the 3rd dimension. So the 1st and 2nd dimension are really back there in the past, and the 3rd dimension is like it's gone, and we're like the 4th or 5th dimension. So it's interesting that that would be about the same.
Well, so just because, I forgot to say that whole sentence in Lashutzid. I'm gonna go back a little bit to say the sentence, right? Chad quads all tia lock bidestat, right? So there's a couple different things you can say for the weekend, but I'm gonna use this one for the weekend just because this is the one I've been exposed to the most. So Chad, quads, Chad quads. Oh, where are you going? Chad quads. Oh. Now I'll explain this part a little bit later, but the wall and twal are the same. So just replace the T with the D. The T and D can be replaced depending on where you're at. Oh, chad wall tia. But this sentence is definitely a Northern Lashutzid sentence. Right. Definitely Northern Lashutzid. Definitely more Soxwattle because Norma pushed for me to have the wall on there instead of wall. But here we are. So, chad wall tia. Now, you must see and realize the same thing happened last week. It's the same, or the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, we did this. 2 weeks ago, we did, where did you go today? So the only thing that changed in this whole thing, in this whole conversation, is the Lockbeater shot was in the question. Now, when you ask the question, right, that is where you're going to want to get the answers. So whether if it being to and flew on this part is how the person's going to respond. Because it did not say to or flew upon lock beta shot, to lock beta shot, to lock beta shot, the person who answers can answer either way that they want to do it. They could say everything they did last weekend and next weekend, right? That's what the user can do as the person who's answering the question, if they so choose. If they so choose, they can choose just to say what they did last weekend, forego everything that they will do this weekend. That is the choice of the user. So again, the information you want, you have to ask it clearly. And that's where you want to add your to and flew. And add that would be here. You can either add the two or the flu. So if you see this is an angled T, it's not my regular T's are like this. This T is kind of like that, which is not a T. It's the barred L thingy, right? And it's not the running man. My running man looks like this, right? That's the way my running man is. So they all look different. They're all different. They all mean different things. This is the tla, tla. This is a. This is also the. And this is the. T, 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 t. So t. All right.
Beatbox it.
Great. So that's where you would want to add that if you want to get more specific. But if you don't mind them saying where they're going to go versus where they went, that also can get added down here. But this part would be added here, the hluo or tuo. Hluo, tuo, chedwal tia halalt. I will go to school on the weekend. Tuo, chedwal tia halalt. I went to school on the weekend, right? That's how those would be said. Is definitely not the round chord. Wrong chord. Yeah, kind of figuring out what's going on here. My mouse stopped working.
Oh.
There we go. It's charging. All right, so that's where your information go if you want to be more specific on your answers. And just like last one, you can go ched wal tia bakwab, and then this would be the oh. Oh, ched wal tia school. And then you go, ched wal tia bakwab. So bakwab is this sacred spot right here. You can see it, it's right there. That is Sauk Prairie, one of the sacredest places for Sauk-Suatal Indian tribe. Right now we're like over here, but we got relocated from over here to over here. But they first sent us down the mountains that way to Tulip, which then they said they can't take anymore, then went to Swin, and then they can't take no more. Went to Lummi, they can't take no more. Then we lived on these riverbeds right around here. And if you so choose to not even use the ach and just say cha dwal tia zalcade, I'm completely fine with that. It is your choice as the user to use the language how you like to use it. And I'm not going to get in the way of that. I will point out some things. They're not my issues. I'm just going to point out some issues that I've been issued by other people. There's just give you fair warning. There are people that don't like me saying it this way. There are people that don't like me saying Dwal either. So just know that one for certain. Cha Dwal Tia Shakabats or Tlapabats. Dwal Tia Flute Alt. And then here is the twal, like I said before. Twal T Guadil Alt. Sa Alt, Alal. They're all the bathrooms. If you ask me, I'm going to use the Alal. It's just because what my grandma told me to do. Twal T Hoyubalt, right? Now you can use and substitute for the Dwal, and like I said, it is just a simple fix. You just put Dwal instead of Twal. And then at there, you might want to add the 3x4. The Tia on your thing, right? But either way you look at it, I mean, it's the same thing with the same questions as it was before. And the only thing that changed is the slachel. It is not slachel, it is lakbidistat. Right? That is the only thing that changes. Everything else is the same. Comments, concerns, questions?
Not a one.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, you want to give her a shot then or what?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
It's auch all tia lakbidistat.
Oh, Chad Dwal Tia Kuksut Ali. Oh, Chad Dwal Tia Elbid. Oh, now do it at the end of the O after I've said these first two. Do we do the O? Are we continuing? Or because it's all new places, is it just Chad Dwalti?
If it is something new that you're doing, I guess you could say I went to the store on Friday and then I went to the store on Saturday and then I went to the store on Sunday. Maybe you can use the OO. I would use it that way myself personally, but I am what you call a rebel.
Okay. Oh, Chad Dwaltia Kalasidalt. Oh, Chad Dwaltia Acidalt. Oh, yeah, Chad. Chad Quads. Oh, Altia Lakvidistat.
Chad Dwaltia Karasidalt Chad Dwaltia Siayus Ari Chad Dwaltia Chawat Ari Chad Dwaltia Sudalt Boy Chad.
Is that Lacey in the back?
Nah. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, please reach out. Keep trying this on our Flipgrid. I will post this one up tomorrow.